Greetings and welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Lokita Maka. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, welcome back. Please don't forget to click that notification bell to stay updated. Don't forget to share the channel with your friends, your family, and everyone that is around you. And also, I encourage you to engage with the content. Please do ask me any questions because I'm here to support you. Look, I want to start by apologizing for my absence on this channel. I know I've been missing in action, but hey, I'm back and I'm excited to help you prepare for your final exams, NCS exams to be exact. And this particular video is for the grade 12s. We are going to focus on 2023 Agricultural Sciences Paper 1. So please make sure that you have your paper, you have your pen, you have your calculator, you have your question paper, the same question paper that we will be using, have your study guide, and everything else that you think you might need. So yeah, let's get ready to this question paper. Look, the first thing that you need to pay attention to is the instructions and information. By now, I believe that you have written already 4 exams this year, or 3 to be exact, and you are now on your final lap, so you know the instructions. The paper is divided into 2 sections, section A and section B, so make sure you answer all your questions in the answer book and make sure you answer accordingly. Make sure you start each question on a new page. Make sure you number your answers correctly according to the numbering system. So because now we are doing agriculture, remember we have calculations. So make sure that you show all your calculations, all the formulas, and also make sure you write neatly. Remember, your teacher will not be marking you. So make sure that your writing is legibly. Anyway, let's kick off this question paper. Let's start. Make sure you you are just ready, man, to ace these exams. We are in this together. I'm here to help you. And let's get started with our first question, section A, question 1. So the first question there is, one of the following is not part of the 4 stomach compartments of the ruminant or of a ruminant. So you've got 4 options: A, rumen; B, omasum; C, abomasum; D, reticulum. So the ruminants have got 4 compartments in their stomach. Now, this is the rumen, this is the reticulum, this is the omasum, as well as the abomasum. Now, the first 3, which is the rumen, the reticulum, and omasum, are considered as 4 stomach compartments, right? But now the abomasum is known as the true stomach because it functions similarly to the stomachs of non-ruminants, which breaks down the foods with its enzymes. So the correct answer there is C, which is abomasum. Next question, an example of a protein-rich concentrate. You are given 4 options again: maize meal, oatmeal, wheat meal, and carcass meal. So when we look at protein-rich concentrates, now these are concentrates that are high in protein, right? And maize meal, oatmeal, and wheat meal are high in carbohydrates. However, carcass meal, which is made from animal products, is rich in proteins. So the correct answer there is D, which is carcass meal. Tabular indentations of epithelium between the villi that secretes cercus entericus, right? So you have islets of Langerhans, you have pancreatic ducts, you have glands of Lieberkühn, and also bile ducts, right? Now, what happens here is if you look at the succus entericus, right, or in simple terms, the intestinal juice, which is secreted by the glands of Leberkuhn are located between the villi as well as the small intestine. Now, I'm taking you back to what your teacher taught you in class. So the correct answer there is C, which is the glands of Leberkuhn. Then a nutritive ratio of 1 is to 4 implies that, so you've got statements there, you've got four statements, right? The feed has high protein content. 2, the feed is suitable for growth and reproduction. 3, for every 1 part of carbohydrates, there are 4 parts of protein. 4, for every 1 part of protein, there are 4 parts of non-nitrogenous compounds. So here are the options that you are given. So you have to choose the correct combination. You have combination 1, 2, and 3, combination 1, 3, and 4, combinations 2, 3, and 4, and combinations 1, 2, and 4. So a nutritive ratio, excuse me, of 1 is to 4 generally refers to the ratio of protein to non-nitrogenous compounds, meaning that for every 1 part of protein, there are 4 parts of non-nitrogenous compounds, meaning the correct answer there is D, which is the combination of 1, 2, and 4. Moving to the next one. A farmer producing crops or livestock to generate profit using highly advanced technologies. You have options there, commercial farmer, nom nomadic farmer, subsistence farmer, and communal farmer. Now, saying this farmer is producing crops or raising livestock to generate profit using highly advanced technology. Right. Now, a commercial farmer typically uses, or commercial farmers in generally, they typically use advanced technology and methods to produce goods for sale and profit. Whereas the other farmers that are listed here, they mostly focus on personal or community needs. So the correct answer here is A. Now, remember again, for multiple choice, you don't have to write the full answer, you just write only the letter. Then coming to number 6, the following are the requirements of an ideal poultry housing facility. Now you are given statements again, just like the similar one that we just did. Lengthwise orientation should be in a north-south direction. The roof must be high and insulated. Side walls should keep running water away from the house. The side walls should not allow air movement through the house. So you are given options 1, 2, and 3, 1, 3, and 4, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 4. So an ideal poultry house basically should include a lengthwise orientation which provides maximum light, and also there should be enough air that is coming in that poultry house, and it should be of good quality, and there should be a high insulated roof, and also the walls should keep water out but also allow the ventilation throughout the house. Now, what does this mean? The correct answer there is A, the combination of 1, 2, and 3. The microscopic organisms that live outside the body of the host causing crusted skin and wool loss, right? We've got options, blue ticks, we've got mites, bond ticks, and lice. So Mites are external parasites that can cause the skin to crust and can cause the wool of the animal to be lost. Now, when it comes to ticks and lice, they can also infest animals, but now the symptoms that are described here match those that are caused by mites. So the correct answer is B, which are mice. Now this takes you back now to this section of your study where you have to understand the causes of certain diseases in animals and also the symptoms of those uh, those diseases and what kind of parasites would cause those diseases. Then moving on to number 8, one of the following is not a sign of poor health in farm animals. Rough and dull coat with hair loss, too soft feces and discolored urine, bright eyes with pink membranes, high body temperature, and increased pulse rate. Now, in animals, bright eyes, if you look at these options, bright eyes with pink membranes will normally indicate good health. However, if you look at these ones, the rough and dull coat, hair loss, um, runny feces or discolored urine, high body temperature, that basically tells us that there is something wrong with this animal. So number C in this case is not a sign of poor health in farm animals. A sign of a cow approaching parturition, right? A, sniffs and mounts other cows, milk production drops drastically. C, follows the bulls and other cows. D, urinates and defecates often. So frequent urination and all can be a sign of labor when it comes to cows. So this is where now a farmer can see that sorry, that this particular animal or this particular cow is about to give birth, which is parturition. So the answer here is D, which is urination and um, defecation, right? Then the last one on the multiple choice questions, a factor that results in infertility in cows. We have option 1, superovulation, B, uh, metritis, C, castration, and D, cryptorchidism, right? Now, if you look at metritis, this is the infection of uterus that actually lead to infertility in cows, right? While when you're looking at castration, castration is just directed to male animals. Castration only happens in bulls, right? Um, and also, the other option that we have there, which is cryptorchidism, it also happens in bulls. So the correct answer there is B, which is metritis. Okay, now we have come to the end of section 1.1. Now I want us to pause there while we are reflecting on what we have done so far. This is going to be a long one, guys. This is going to be a long one, and I just want you to take your time, um, make sure you regurgitate on what we have discussed so far. I don't just want to give you answers to these questions, even though it's a multiple choice, and now already we are running over 10 minutes. But I just want you to take your time, read the question carefully, take this time. We're going to have a short break. Just take this time to reflect on what we have done so far. Then we're going to come with question 1.2, which is matching column 1 and column 2, or column A and column B. So there you are given two descriptions on column A, then you have to make sure that they match with column B. Then you only write either A only, B only, or A and B, or none. So those are the options that you have. So I'm going to pause here for now. Then we're going to come back with the next one. All righty, welcome back, welcome back. We are back from our ad break. So now let's get to it with question 1.2. Indicate whether each of the descriptions in column B applies to A only, B only, both A and B, or none of the items in column A. So write A only, B only, both A and B, or none next to the question number. For example, 1.2.6 is B only. So usually when it comes to this question, I usually say start from column B. Read your description in column B, and then you check your options in column A. So you start from the right side and then going to the left side. So let's get to it. Breaks down fats into fine droplets. So you've got two options there. A is bile and B is liver. So unesibindi unenyongo. So what breaks down the fats, right? Now bile, which is inyongo, is that substance in animals and human that break down the fats. So it is produced by the liver. Now, what does this mean? Your answer there, you're gonna write both A and B because both of them, they break down the fats into fine droplets. They work together. Now, let's move to the second one, an organ that helps farm animals to distinguish between different feeds. You have A, pharynx, you have B, the tongue, ulwimi, right? Now, ulwimi, you will remember, which is the tongue. It basically is responsible for taste. Now, one of the things that I usually say with agriculture is that always think of each question and apply it to you as a human beings, because our behaviors and also how our body functions is similar to that of animals. So the tongue is responsible for taste, and also it helps animals to distinguish between feeds. So the correct answer there is B only. Then we move to the next one, the ability of farm animals to maintain a constant body temperature. So we have heterothermic, then we have homeothermic, right? So homeothermic animals maintain a constant body temperature, um, while heterothermic animals have varying body body temperatures, right? So what is the correct answer there? It is B only, right? Then we move to the next one. Um, Poisonous plants that should be prevented by avoiding storing feeds under wet conditions. You have A, thorn apple, and B, poisonous bulb, right? Both these, the thorn apple as well as poison bulb, are poisonous plants. So, but now this particular description, as much as these are poisonous plants, this particular description doesn't fit, it doesn't apply to either of these. So now this takes you back to you understanding the characteristics of each plant that you were taught. So in this case, it's none. Then we move to the last one. So if already you got these, you know that you already have 8 marks. If you got all of these correctly, you have 8 marks under your name, plus that 20 marks previously. So you have 28 by now. Hormones used in synchronizing oestrus in animals. We've got A, prostaglandin, and then we have B, which is the progesterone. Right. Now, both of these, the prostaglandin as well as the progesterone, can be used for oestrus synchronization. Now, this will take you back to that chapter. So the correct answer there is both A and B. Then moving forward to the terminology, which is question 1.3. Now give only one term or one word for each of the following descriptions. So there you are given a description, you just give the examiner just one word. So the enzyme that breaks down starch molecules, especially in pigs. What is that enzyme called? That enzyme is called the amylase. The small area where sheep are kept under intensive conditions and fed for maximum production. You have a hint there. What is it called? This is called the feedlot, right? A reproductive technique where semen is collected from a superior bull and deposited into a reproductive tract of a cow in oestrus. Now, this is what we call artificial insemination. So, this kind of insemination doesn't happen naturally. Cows that need to mate 3 or more times before conceiving. Now, these type of cows are called repeat breeders. The last one, the inability of a bull to service cows that are in oestrus even though it has interest. Now, this is called impotence. Sievan, we are still together. Now let's move to the last question in question 1, which is question 1.4. So here you are given a statement. There is a certain word that is underlined. What you need to do is to change the underlined word so that you can make the statement correct. Right. Then on your answer book, you only write the word, the underlined word, right? So the first one is digestible energy refers to the energy that is left after deducting energy loss through heat from metabolic energy. So for 1.4.1, you just replace metabolic uh, with net. Okay, so on this one, you replace digestible, I mean, digestible because that is the one that is underlined. You replace that with net, right? And then on the second one, the introduction of natural enemies to control parasite infestation is a chemical method. So we all know, or if we don't know, you will remember. So when you introduce natural enemies to control parasites, this is a biological method. It's not a chemical method, right? Essential releases an enzyme that assists the sperm cell to penetrate the ovum. What does that? It's an acrosome, right? Then the diöstrus happens when sexually mature female animals show no signs of standing heat. So there you replace with diöstrus with an ostrus or an ostrus, depending on your pronunciation, right? Then the gestation period refers to the period in cows between to lactation. So what is this period called? This is the dry period. So you replace the gestation with dry. And there you have it, your 5 marks. Easy, clean. There's nothing, you don't have to spend more time there in writing all those or repeating all those statements. You just write one word. Gonna spend more time reading the statement. Make sure you read the statement properly. Check the name or the word that is underlined and replace it accordingly. And there you have it. For your section A, you have 45 marks. Now we're gonna move to section B, but again, I want you to take a break again, drink your water, let it sink, take a deep breath, check your answers, and see if you are going to be able to answer these on your own. Let's take a break. Alrighty, welcome back, welcome back. Now we're gonna kick off with section B, question 2. So this is on animal nutrition. So on this one, specifically, I have a video on animal nutrition. So please go and look at that video just as a refresher. So you are given a picture there on 2.1. So this is just the alimentary canal of a sheep, and now you have to answer the questions accordingly. So identify in the picture above only the letter of the part where each of the following occurs. So you just write the letters, right? Microbial fermentation. So the correct answers there, it's either B or C. So if you write B, you're gonna get a mark, or you write C, you're gonna get a mark. Mechanical digestion. Where does mechanical digestion happens? So the correct answer is A or even F. And then chemical digestion, the correct answers there, it's either C or D. And then name one function of the small intestine. So that is just 1 mark. So you can either say the small intestine actually absorbs nutrients or absorbs digested food, or maybe you can say it secretes the digestive juices. You can say it assists in mixing food with digestive juices. So any of those, you just give one function that you can think of. And then coming to question 2.1.3, compare the structure of the esophagus in sheep with that of a fowl. So now, because this is 2 marks, so they you have to give a bit of a description. Now, when you look at the esophagus of a sheep, now it doesn't have an enlargement or a crop, while if you look at that one of a fowl, it will have a crop, or what or the it will be enlarged. Then the esophagus of a sheep is a bit wide and it's also long. So while that one of a fowl, it's narrow and it's like short. So just make sure you give the comparison there. Then we move forward. So guys, after question 2, I'm gonna stop there. Then we're gonna have a second part of this revision, because I don't want it to be too long and then you end up getting bored. So yeah, we're gonna pause from here, and then you continue with the other part, which is going to be part 2, because already this is long. So 2.2, the biological value of protein is determined by the amino acid composition and some other factors. Animals need amino acids that their bodies cannot produce, but in ruminant animals, the protein quality of feeds is of less importance. Now, give a collective name for the amino acids that cannot be produced in animal bodies. So, what is that collective name? So, this is essential amino acids. So, that is the correct term. Explain why the protein quality of feeds in ruminants is of less importance. So, now in terms of the the explanation there, one thing that I can say is you need to remember now the importance of amino acids and also what happens there. So microorganisms, they use or they can use acids to synthesize microbial protein. So if you write that down, I guarantee you you're gonna get a mark. Now this has higher biological value. So if you include these two things, trust me, you're gonna get full marks, two full marks. Then now we are coming to the digestibility coefficient, right? So you are given a question there, obviously. Um, you're gonna see at the end of the statement, an ox was fed 24 kilograms of dry matter and excreted 7 kilograms of manure with 81% of dry material. So calculate the digestibility coefficient of the feed. Show all calculations, including the formula. So now, first things first, you write the formula. So what is the formula of your digestibility coefficient? Digestibility coefficient is equal to dry matter intake. I also have a video on this one, right? It is equal to dry matter intake, which is in kg. Make sure you put those kgs in brackets, minus the dry matter of manure, which is also in kgs, divided by the dry matter intake, then multiply by 100. So you dry matter intake minus dry matter of manure, you put that in brackets and then you multiply by 100. And then now you are going to substitute these with the values that you are given. So you have 24 kgs um, minus 7 kg. Am I correct? Or what you're gonna do first there, you're gonna get the percentage. You're gonna calculate the dry matter of manure. Remember, you are given this dry matter in one, the excretion is 7 kgs, then the dry matter is 81% of that 7 kgs. So what you're gonna do, you get the dry matter content, which is you you need to calculate 81% of that 7 kgs, right? Then you get your answer. Then now you go to your formula, you substitute. You put in your formula, which is dry matter minus dry manure, dry matter of manure. So 81% of 7 kg, that is 5.67, right? Then this means from this 24 kg, when you're substituting now with numbers or values, 24 kgs minus 5.67, um, then you divide that by 24. You get your answer and then you multiply by that by 100. Then you get your percentage. So make sure you show all the calculation, make sure you show all the steps. So the first step there is to get the dry matter content in that excretion or the manure, because you are told that that excretion, it was 7 kg of manure, but it also had 81% of dry material. So your calculation will start there. Then now you are given a schematic diagram or a representation of feeds, right? Where you have to provide the labels. Now, so feed components are made up of dry materials and water, right? Then dry material is made up of organic components as well as inorganic components, right? Under organic components, we've got lipids, we've got vitamins, we've got carbohydrates, and others. So now the question here is, what is give labels for A and C? So already I've given you an answer there. State two functions of water, right? What does water do in animals? There is a lot that you can think of. There is a lot that, with this one, I don't want to lie, I'm not going to give you an answer. There's a lot that you can think of. Write down the letter that represent the components suitable for feeding young animals for growth. So, we said organic components, they have proteins, they have lipids, they have carbohydrates, they have vitamins. So think about this. Think about this one that is suitable for feeding young animals for growth. Then moving to the the other question, question 2.5, a farmer mixed soya bean, oil cake meal, and oatmeal to obtain a rotation with the desired protein content as shown below. So this is a Pearson square. I have an explanation of Pearson square. So even on this one, I want you to go because this will require practice. This will require practice. So now you have feed A and feed B, right? Now refer to the Pearson square above to indicate the parts of this ration that represents each of the following. So, so the first one, parts that represent soya bean, what are the parts? So now with the Pearson square, you don't read the values across, right? So the soya bean oil cake meal has got 6 parts there, right? However, the second feed, which is oatmeal, has got 29 parts. So already you have 2 marks there. Then calculate the percentage of oatmeal in the given mixture, and then you have to show all your calculations, right? Now, with this particular one, you have to include all your formulas, you show all your calculations. So you are calculating the percentage. So you're gonna add um, 29 plus 6. That will give you that number. Then you calculate. And I want you to stop from here and go to the video where I explain or where I make calculations on the Pearson square if you are struggling with this part. But I want you to actually do this on your own. I want you to do this part on your own. It's the similar to this one of the fodder flow calculation that comes, because when it comes to calculation, it becomes better, you understand it better with practice, right? So calculating digestibility coefficient, calculating Pearson square, and also the fodder flow, right? So then the last question there, you are given this data, then the last thing, that 6 marks that you have to do is to ensure that you are told to draw a line graph, right? Now, what is important now in the line graph is make sure that you have the correct heading. Heading is very important. Heading has a mark. Then you label your x-axis. Now, in this case, your x-axis will be the months of the year, right? And then you label your y-axis. Now, your y-axis in this case will be the quantities, all these quantities. Then you're gonna have all these quantities, you plot them in these graph. Then make sure that, because this is not just, it won't be just line one graph or one line graph, right? But now in this case again, okay, again you are told that use the data in the table above to draw a line graph of quantities of feed required by beef cattle and the production of leucine. So you only focus on leucine from August to December. So always pay attention to detail so that you don't draw everything. You don't make all these graphs. So the only graph there will be from August. You're gonna use values from August up to December and only from for leucine. So you're not going to use felt, you're not going to use TEF hay available, you're not going to use animal feed, you're going to use leucine. And that brings us to the end of part one of our revision. And one thing that I just want to emphasize is that make sure, guys, you always show your calculations. Make sure they are clear. You provide explanations where needed. Make sure that you understand the concepts that are being asked, because sometimes they become tricky, and some of them they are similar to each other. And when it comes to graphs, make sure you pay attention to the details. Make sure there is proper labeling. You have your heading and you underline your heading properly and correctly, and your values are accurate. So I'm gonna stop here for now so that you can have a breather. Then maybe tomorrow you can come to the second part. So on the second part, we're gonna start from question 3, which is animal production, and then we move to question 4. We move question 4, which is animal reproduction. So those two, animal production as well as animal reproduction, we're going to look at those questions. So just browse through your question paper and go through this video over and over again. And if you're still with me up to this far, please just drop a heart or something, whatever, a smile, any emoji that you can think of, or maybe an emoji that represents how you feel at this point. And I'm really glad that I'm dropping this just a month before you write your paper one. So I wish you all the best, and we're gonna continue. We're still gonna go to paper two, and I'm gonna try to bring in as many question papers as I can, because, guys, this is the last lap. I wish you all the best. Love and light. Until next time.